The last version of the new PvP game mode push is here, and there's a lot of changes they made for it. The new respawn is wave based, so you have to wait for everyone to actually revive for you to revive instead of everyone trickle down, which makes the games way faster and more fun. The new swords objectives can actually be stacked to do more damage, and they're permanent. The new map has actually been finished, and the time limit is 5 minutes faster, making the games super fast, super interactive, super fun, and full of adrenaline. I was very scared about push, guys. I really was. I didn't really see it as a game mode with the changes they had, but with these new ones, it actually works very well, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. But I've also had a lot of fun with it because of one particular thing I figured out. And that is having a ranged weapon. It makes the entire game mode way more fun, way more easy to understand, and it really gives you a lot of power to win your matches. So in this video, we're gonna go through how you can apply this on every class so you can get a good build going and really have a lot of fun with this game mode. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Go to my Ko-Fi if you want to support my content. Go to my Twitch to watch me live every morning, and let's get into it. So I spent the entire day today trying every class in order to get a good idea on how they work, what's the best spec, and I also asked a lot of friends that play PvP a lot, like Kiba. Definitely subscribe to him, by the way. He's a great creator for Guild Wars 2. And even though there are a few builds that are just overpowered compared to others, I'm looking at you, Blood Bunker Scourge. I found a good amount of builds for every class. The big thing we have to consider here is that you have to do damage in push. Obviously, having a support is good, but whenever you're a support, it's a little bit harder to take control of the fights because, well, someone has to do damage. If you're not the one doing damage, it might be problematic because you can't control your teammates. That being said, look, let's be real. If you bring Scourge, you're probably gonna win, okay? If you even stack Scourges, you're probably gonna win, okay? Scourge is beside the point. Yeah, if you want to win and you want to just make the game horrible for everybody else, bot yourself and your team, yeah, stack Scourges. But realistically, it's gonna get nerfed very soon anyways, so I wouldn't worry. There's like no point in like getting good at something that's gonna get nerfed very soon. But doing great DPS, especially in range, is super good in push because you can just stand in the node while also doing damage at the same time. Look at here right now. I'm just cleaving everybody. They're trying to come here to stop me, but they just can't do it. Even when they reflect, I just dodge all my reflects and they can't even make it in there. That type of gameplay, that's the type of idea we want in push. Range, pressure, you're safe, you have mobility to get away if they come to you, but you're still doing damage. I also really enjoyed Revenants, particularly Herald and Renegade, because I can use my hammer to do a lot of damage from outside and then go into my sword source and just cleave everyone down afterwards. Bing range attack, getting them low, then teleport in, insta kill them, be done with it. That's a type of builds we want in push. At least that's what I found. I'm not the biggest PvPer for sure, but you know, I am a new player and I'm trying, well, in terms of AP, and I'm trying to have fun in this game mode, and that's what has been good for me. Now, let's go through a few builds that you can play on every class. I would heavily recommend you go to Meta Battle, as there's a lot of PvP builds here, and you can go into builds and check our PvP, so you can check all the PvP builds that they exist, or you can go through class. If you go through class, you can just go to the PvP category here and just choose the one you want. For Elementalist, the one that I really enjoyed was Spear Kata. Why is that? It's because Spear has an insane amount of AoE range damage. You stand in your circle, start casting your spells, and they become bigger spells, so you can do a lot of damage with it. You also have a good amount of mobility, a good amount of survivability, and you give a lot of boons to your allies with your F5. So you can just support them while also doing a lot of damage and have mobility to escape. Now, I will say this build is definitely not the easiest one. Elementalist does have a lot to learn. There's a lot of interactions in between all the abilities, but It's pretty fun, and I recommend you guys to try it. You should definitely go to Meta Battle though to check all the amulets, relics, and the usage of this builds. There's not a guide video, guys, it's just a recommendation video. And honestly, I'm not gonna do a better job at explaining these builds as the people who actually made them. Would be Scrapper. And why is that? It's because Scrapper is an insane AoE build. Not only does it have blocks, not only does it have AoE reflex while doing damage, grenade kits for range, and a sneak gyro to provide stealth to everybody around you, but it has super speed, it gives quickness, and you have an insane amount of stability to prevent anyone from stunning you. If you play push, guys, you're gonna see scrappers all around, all the time. They're super common because they're super good. The Beautiful Engineer, if you want to win, guys, and you don't want to play Scourge, and you just want to have a little bit of fun, while also one-shotting people, yeah, Scrapper is gonna be a great choice. For Mesmer, oh my god, Virtuoso, yeah, this is insane. I was playing it today, guys, and I felt bad how easily I would just one-shot everyone. And not only that, but you have full distortion. You have Blades from Distortion to make you invulnerable. You have Blade Renewal to just be immune for 2 seconds. And you get yourself Blurred Inscriptions right here, making it that so every one of your signets gives you 1 second of distortion. So every signet you get here, 1 second of immunity. Now, this build does go Sword Pistol. I probably would go Dagger instead. You can re-choose, right? Sword gives you a leap, so that's nice. And you also have a Blurred Frenzy that makes you invulnerable for 1 second. That's also nice. It's a blur, but it's not it is immune for most things in the game. But if you pick Dagger, you'll be able to do even more damage from range. You can also go for Mirage if you really wanted to, but this one is way harder than Virtuoso. I've heard that it actually ends up doing more damage in the end, but playing this will definitely make it way harder. I would definitely start with Virtuoso, and if you really want to go for something else, you can go for this instead. For Necromancer, I would heavily recommend Harbinger. Not only does it have an insane amount of mobility, but it has range with staff and a huge burst with your shroud and spear. You also have your elixirs that gives boons to yourself and your allies, and it's not a really hard build to play. You also can change a lot of the utility to fit it in the way that you want. I would definitely go staff spear though. One for the burst, spear, and staff for the range. You can also go for a Reaper build, but I don't know. It just feels like Harbinger is just better right now. But you definitely can go for that and just spin around with your Shroud 4. The build for Ranger is Solbis Sechem, Longbow and Greatsword. Longbow for range, Greatsword for the burst. You get your beautiful utility, like your stance to stun break stability and get way less damage done to you. Your One Wolf Pack, so you can do an insane amount of damage. Your Sechem to command your pet, essentially you because you're soul beasted, to do more damage. And then you can pick your utility, and you can definitely go for Quickening Zither to get yourself quickness and even do more damage. But you can also go for some beautiful utility here as well to protect yourself from harm. You can also pick other pets. But guys, what is a better defense than a better offense? I mean, look at this damage. Oh no, guys, he's trying to escape. That's what Longbow can do. Careful with your reflex though. For Revenant, guys, I'm not gonna lie, pick whatever you want. Everything is good. Spear Power Herald is great because Spear is great. Full AoE while also being ranged. Good survivability. Condition Medics, same thing. Power Shiro Herald, great as we were talking about before. We will see it the gameplay. I haven't tested Vindicator, but it seems like it would work very well as it's very similar to Herald in the sense that they have Hammer, and instead of Sword, you have Greatsword, but Greatsword has a lot of burst too. And Renegade, you know, it should also work okay. It has Sharpbow, it has Staff, it has the AoE from the Renegade Spirits. It should work very well too. Just pick whatever you like the most. Personally, I really like Herald, and I'm gonna stick with it. But who knows, maybe I end up with Vindicator a little bit in another day. For warrior, I feel like the best one was Spellbreaker Defense Boonbreaker, because yeah, you don't really have any range, but you're kind of invincible. You're very, very tanky. You have your full counter to just protect yourself from any damage. You have your hammer to do an insane amount of CC and damage as well as mobility and giving you permanent stab every time. Well, I die there. Okay, well, Jesus, okay. I need to remember that. You are super mobile. You have a lot of tankiness with full counter, preventing you from getting damaged by almost every attack while also interrupting your enemies. You have your banner to just finish people off, just like this. You have your hammer to just jump in and do a lot of damage to CC everyone, and also have permanent stab every time you CC, which is super good. Pretty fun build, pretty interesting. It doesn't have range, which kind of sucks. You can bring other versions of the build. There's a lot of Spellbreaker builds for this. Some that use staff instead. You can check them all in meta battle and pick the one you want. But yeah, you're pretty tanky. It's like a little bit of an off-tank build, which is interesting. For Thief, I only got one option. Maybe I'm wrong about this one, but I couldn't really find anything else that worked well. And this is Rifle Deadeye. The reason you go for this is because it just has such good range, and you can just sit there from the backlines, just shooting everyone and killing everyone for that reason. It seems easy, guys, but it definitely has a lot of skill to it if you really wanna be good. You're very unmobile. You cannot move that much, so you have to position yourself correctly and use the little mobility you have for your advantage, and of course your stealth as well to get out of difficult situations. There's definitely other thief builds you can go for, but I'm not sure how good they are in push, and they require way more investment in terms of skill to make them work. So for me, Deadeye was definitely the option. For Guardian, there's a few options. You can play Firebrand if you want to support. You can pick Willbender if you want to be an assassin that does a lot of damage and have an insane amount of mobility, and it does work pretty well. Or you can play Dragon Hunter, pull all of the traps in one spot and just make everything explode. And that type of gameplay, guys, in push where everyone's tied together, is very, very good. I think almost every time I ended up dying in this game and losing was because of a Dragon Hunter, the traps, and just the amount of CC and burst they would have. There's a few choices for Guardian though, so really pick the one you want. I will heavily recommend you to go with Longbow though, because you can actually do damage from far away if you really need to. Well, I mean this in Dragon Hunter, not in Willbender. You can go Longbow, Sword Shield. I guess you could go Greatsword too, but probably Sword Shield is the best one to go for. The Dragon Hunter Trooper Trapper is probably the build you want to go for. But yeah, there you go. Those are all the builds that I really think are pretty good in this mode, and I'm sure that will change, but this maybe will give you a little bit of an idea to have fun this week, because we only have 1 week for push this time. I'm definitely gonna be more ready next time because I really enjoyed push. Whenever it actually gets released, it's not a beta, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be preparing a video for the builds that you should play, and we're gonna just blast. I'm gonna be fully prepared, fully ready. One definitely big thing that we have to consider though is that a lot of these builds do have projectiles, and projectiles can be reflected, so definitely be very careful. For example, Deadeye, if your 3 gets reflected, you will take a lot of damage. The same thing applies for your 2 on your Longbow Ranger, so be careful about this kind of stuff. Not every build has this, but yeah, keep that in mind. You can always just dodge out of the way of your own projectile. But there you go. Hopefully this helped you and incentivizes you to try push, because yeah, I really enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Go to my Ko-Fi if you want to support my content. Definitely support all the people that made these builds in meta battle and meta battle themselves. And see you guys around. Love you all. Ciao, ciao.